Dolores Huerta, but I wrote a book, so I knew that we were going to have a new wave of candidates knocking at democracy's door. It's a book that's actually going to get published in a couple of weeks, and you can get a copy in advance if you come downstairs at 3 o'clock and you have a very, very clever tweet with the hashtag People Like Us. So I have 25 advance copies to give you. It's really not fair to be given 3 minutes to speak after Dolores Huerta, and I thought, I'm going to screw this up. And I sort of did something right by writing a book a while ago, so I'll just read a portion of it. But I want to preface this short reading by saying that, you know, this morning we invoked our ancestors and talked about the shoulders of people we stand on. And in reading from this book, I want to invoke actually names of women who have run and won in recent years, even before we saw this incredible surge of women candidates. Women who ran in 2015 and 2016 and who won by being their true, authentic selves, by lifting up their immigrant stories as part of the American narrative. Because you know what, we are part of the American narrative. There's not an immigrant story and an American story. There's an American story that includes the immigrant narrative, that includes the narrative of the First Peoples, that includes the narrative of enslaved peoples who were forced to migrate here. And so there's no reason to talk about our American journey without talking about where we come from, where our families come from. These women also ran by understanding that they needed to expand the electorate, that they needed to reach voters who had never before been talked to. And they also ran by understanding that while money wields power, work, knocking at doors, asking people to be part of the democratic process is way more powerful and long-lasting. Because we all know that we can spend money very quickly, but we can't lose goodwill that quickly. We have the goodwill and the support of voters. And so I want to share with you a couple of paragraphs from the book, which really is a way of saying that the democracy that we currently live in is not a democracy that was designed for the people like us in this room. It was not designed to work for us. So when you all are encountering these systems, it's not about you, it's about the fact that it was never, 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 ever meant to work for us. Because who designed this democracy? Who signed the original founding documents? Not anybody who look like anyone in this room, right? And so it makes sense that our democracy is not working because it wasn't supposed to work. And in my book, I talk about how we can reshape democracy so that it works for she the people. And it works in ways that don't require us to constantly be beating our heads against a wall, to constantly be fighting obstacles, so that if more of us are in power, more of us can shape the democracy that we want for the people like us. Carmen and Raquel benefited from redistricting and the political momentum it created in their communities. Raquel is here today. She's a city council member in Detroit. Carmen Mendez is a city council member in Yakima, Washington. They both answered a call to service and won their elections because of determination and dedication. But they were also elected because of the hunger that Americans around the country have for new voices in government, regardless of ethnicity. Neither woman was elected solely because she's Latina or by virtue of just the Latinx vote, given the demographics of their respective districts. Gender and ethnicity were factors in their campaign, just as they are factors in their legislative activities. But voters elected them, as they have many women this year, because they saw in them the promise and potential that they would deliver the kind of government that the country is longing for. They are first, but they will need to be followed by many more. Since Trump's election, Carmen has received emails that question her ability to serve, asking, quote, "Are you legal? Are you even allowed to be on council?" Other women also attack her for her appearance with statements like, quote, "Stop playing dress up and get to work." She describes these encounters as being discouraging initially, but ultimately motivating. I think we're all familiar with that. There's always going to be an issue, she says. We are the issue, because we have power, and we're raising the issues that affect our community. Raquel shared a similar sentiment when reflecting on her 2017 re-election campaign. I'm a brown, short woman who is educated, unmarried, and still lives in her ghetto childhood house. I think that was Raquel. And I'm elected. My existence causes trouble. So let's go out there, people, and make our existence cause trouble every day, every minute. Thank you.